She freaked out last time. Oh, thank you. Say thank you. She's not your mommy.
I don't know.
Michael, you apparently keep saying that you're not part of Occupy in public. Do you want to be participating in this meeting?
I want to participate in this meeting.
Okay. Then here's a confidential document for your eyes only, and I have copies for other people, but what's written there is for your eyes only. And if this is going to be videotaped, you'll want to actually not publicize that. And Ryan, are you wanting to be part of Occupy after having?
I'm here with him.
Okay. Well,
and I'm not taking any documents.
Here's the document for you.
Unfortunately, I can't take your document.
Well, if you don't want to, it's going to be difficult to participate.
For legal reasons, I'm not taking your document.
What's going on, guys? I understand there's been some conflict.
Michael was voted out of Occupy as of last night.
It's we've got a disciplinary measure that we just have to take. So.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anybody
I'm
really
not
has
really
the
comfortable
ability
with taking a
to kick
legal
anybody
document
out.
without
No,
a
this is not a legal document at all. This is something that just informs you of. Unfortunately, Michael was perpetrating kind of a hoax online by saying that
Oh, okay, so this is a dictatorship now.
No, this is not. No,
this
this has to do with what was implemented at one of the meetings you were at. That was the St. Paul's principle and had to do with arbitration and not dealing with
As far as I know, you were
complaints in
voted
public.
out, so I don't even know why you're here.
That was a. Well, anyway, hey, I've got copies for everybody. This is from arbitration committee. So if anybody's interested in it, but what that does, it informs you. It informs you of what
He wants me to not show anyone.
You actually have to.
Oh, it's okay. You don't need one. We're married. We can share.
No. There's
What's
one
mine
for
is
him. There's
his.
one for him too. But and then I'll just there isn't. This is just a blank copy in case you want to know what everybody else is reading.
You're censoring my speech.
You were voted
really?
out. Censorship. Isn't that what we're fighting against the government?
You're
we need to have another
censoring
vote.
my speech?
Do we need to have another vote? Or are me and Raven going to get restraining orders placed against us?
Raven, don't take that, Raven.
You actually have to.
What we need
address
here is some
something
positive
with
energy.
the,
What we need here is to be
arbitration
nice to
committee.
each other.
What we need is Eric to be out.
love.
I have to?
Yes.
No, don't take it.
If you want to actually participate, yeah, you do.
Don't take it.
No, I don't.
He doesn't own
Okay,
the name
then-
Occupy.
Did you know that Occupy
Hey,
is a
here-
leaderless movement?
Wait, this is not about leaders.
No, it's
not
about
leaders.
censorship.
He's
No,
trying
it's not.
to,
It's
yes,
not-
you are.
it's
You're
not-
trying
it's
to
not
censor my
probation.
thought.
It's not.
Let's all take
Eric, you're not in Occupy.
Nobody can kick anybody out of a leaderless movement.
Yeah. There's.
We're all.
We voted.
We have to make a
We
group
voted.
that's big enough to include everybody.
If he's censoring Occupy, not allowing us to put up certain stuff, deleting what we put up.
Please.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Let me go ahead and I want to see what you
Okay.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
We all had a meeting a couple weeks ago where
Really? Because I wasn't involved in this
Yes,
meeting.
you were there.
And there was no notes in my meeting.
No, Lorena held the meeting. She was the main speaker of the meeting. I was there. I took a picture of your daughter. I interacted with your child. We voted on the St.
When you have
Cloud's
somebody, for
principles.
example, who's saying
Okay.
he's going to burn.
Can I just say
Eric,
something then?
For a
Can I
second.
just say
That's
something?
office.
Because I do
That's
remember that, the
office,
St.
right?
Paul's principle.
Right.
Violation of the
you're
St.
off-
Paul's
No,
principle.
no.
That's the whole reason we voted him out.
Wait. If I may continue. I thought the understanding was that the voting took place on
Okay.
a specific night. I'm just.
we're here tonight.
That's
Okay,
why we're
good.
here tonight,
All right.
is to vote.
All right, but at the same time, none of us should be kicked out. I shouldn't have the power to kick anyone out.
Agreed.
No, if they,
In fact, that's in our bylaw.
And what I think that we need to do
Can I
is to
just-
try to discuss this and talk about it. And we're
Can I
always
say
going to have
something?
differences.
Can I say something in here?
Go ahead.
It says not to sabotage OCS, which is exactly what he has done. You guys are not in solidarity with Occupy Wall Street anymore, which is what OCS is supposed to be in solidarity with.
Okay.
Every week, it is an anti-war protest. Where is the solidarity with Occupy Wall Street in the anti-war protest, along with bashing the military? Where is that in solidarity with
May
Occupy
I
Wall
have
Street?
may I have the
Yeah, I would like,
voice back?
because I've been part of
what
Occupy
is-
Marines and
okay.
Army, and they're in sync with Occupy Wall Street
what is
24/7.
Saturdays? What is the Saturday action, if I may? Remind everybody what the Saturday action is for.
It's healthcare.
It's for healthcare, and that's not anti-war.
Great,
And that's
troops
been
support
planned for a
healthcare.
while. So there are going to be actions, and everyone should suggest actions. Obama is
Jeremy?
going to be here
Jeremy.
in May.
Suggested, I know, and I
Can I talk to you for a
suggested
second?
last night is at the local level where the city
Okay.
council currently,
Setting
or
things on
actually
fire
city
by
council's
somebody
not
who said
necessarily the one
went
doing it,
And
the
you and I
mayor
are
and
thinking
the
the same thing because I
police department are
suggested
trying
Come on.
to put 10 surveillance cameras all over downtown. And with that, they believe as soon as that's done, if they stay okay, they want to expand that.
Rip that shit up, dude.
Right
He don't
local.
even own the name
Okay,
Occupy.
And so these are things that we can
I'm
do.
also
that
addressing the issue that the Colorado Senate is actually trying to outlaw bath salts in the state of Colorado. Anybody possesses, sells, buys,
Okay,
or otherwise.
Jack's got a great
Also
idea.
dealing
Let's
with the
let's
Second
let's
Amendment
start.
rights. So yeah, I am actually going with
Let's
truth.
start a meeting.
Really.
I'll take Stack if you want. You go ahead, Jack.
Well, you do stack. If you
Go,
do
Daddy.
stack,
I just have to do Stack. All right. So one.
we're all gonna have, guys. We're all gonna have our own different perspectives. We're all gonna have our own points of view, one of our own unique life experiences. Okay. We have to find a way to accept other people with different, with sometimes
Play later,
radically
okay?
different ideas
Agreed.
from our own. We have to find a way to all get along and coexist peacefully. We're not always going to agree upon the issues or upon the best course of action or how to go about changing the world. What matters is that we find a way to respect each other and our diverse views.
How can I respect somebody that is telling cops I'm broken into his office and stealing his mail flap and it's going to file a restraining order against me? Because he is Occupy, apparently, because he told the cops I was going to burn his office to the ground when I said I was going to burn Occupy to the ground, metaphorically, because he's taking full control and is censoring the Facebook pages and everything else. If you don't agree with him, he banishes you, basically. He drives you away. Where is Occupy? Where is it? Nobody's ever here anymore. We're only here to get rid of him and take back Occupy and make it back what it was supposed to be like, in accordance with OWS. All it is anti-troop. It's not even anti-war. I don't give a fuck about anti-war. I'm all for anti-war. It's anti-troop. Anti-troop. Troops kill kids.
That gets
And
said
then you're
on
going to get a
daily
restraining order
basis.
put against me.
Actually,
Okay.
Should I
Speaking as a
respond?
direct response.
Should I respond?
All right. Go ahead.
okay, Jeremy, you're threatening not my tribe. That's what you're threatening. That's my office. It's a not my tribe office.
It's in
That's
response.
the threat that you're making.
I'm
You're
not
making it
threatening not
against
my
me.
tribe. That's
Yeah,
why a cop looked at it and
wait,
said there's no threats.
No, wait. You're. It's on not my tribe. That's where you're making threats. You're threatening to burn it down. You're threatening to come and get us. I mean, there's a bunch of threats, and so that's not my tribe. It's a very legitimate conclusion to
Burn
come to. They asked
OCS
me.
to the ground.
Okay.
So what?
yeah,
Your
and-
office is OCS.
No, no,
my would be in response to that. First off, the threat that Jeremy made was that I will burn OCS to the ground, a metaphoric statement meaning that the ideal of the movement, because Occupy Colorado Springs no longer stands in solidarity with Occupy Wall Street. And that is what he directly said in any time that he has been quoted online or verbally. At no time have I ever heard Jeremy state that I'm going to burn not my tribe to the ground, or that he was going to do anything to you directly, physically. Also, you also happen to get onto Michael Clifton about his trying to deal with the city of the CSPD and taking information about them violating laws, okay, to FBI. It wasn't even about Occupy violating anything. And you was all over him. And I do recall you getting in his face and saying that he's a snitch and he needs to go. You, however, called the police, made false accusations, claimed that somebody took the window off the top of your door, and no damage to the door, no damage to the window, and they took the mailbox, and yet you didn't report. You said that it happened between February 23rd, February 24th. However, you failed to report it until yesterday to the police, which I find highly
I have a-
interesting.
I have
No
a-
But that
further
was a
damage
landlord. That
done.
was a
I have
landlord
a-
issue.
yeah.
The landlord required some action.
So he blames me and
Hey
Ray.
babe, weren't you on CQ?
Yeah.
That week? Yeah. He was on CQ. Number one, there's documentation of that. Number two, him
You have
threatening
no
to
evidence
burn
that
down
it was me.
OCS has nothing to do with Not My Tribe. And if that's what you're implying, that Not My Tribe is part of OCS, then you don't belong.
Because
Because
how many
that's how
people
I'm
have you
taking
told,
it right now.
told that Not My Tribe is not associated with OCS anyway? It's my page. I can do whatever the fuck I want to it, quote unquote. You said it last night to Raven.
Yeah, that's right. It has nothing to do with Occupy. It's never spoken for Occupy or vice versa. And the threats, there were multiple threats against me, especially coming to get ya. I mean, there were multiple.
Really?
Even today, you make the threat of
Should I
what if
pull
your
that up
place
real
was
quick?
was
I
to
could pull
burn
that up.
down? Would you call
Actually,
the?
why don't you put that in context first off?
No,
what
no,
I
no,
said
no.
was you.
It
No, what I
doesn't really
said was
matter
you
about-
claim
Okay,
to.
wait.
No, it does matter.
Wait, no,
Because what I
no.
said was you claim to be a peace activist, yet you continue to wage war on the very men and women that go to war and fight for your rights and defend your rights to do so. I also stated that you also, it might be in your best interest to also remember that not only are U.S. troops, but firefighters, police officers, law enforcement officials, and emergency responders are also part of the 99% that you try to say that you represent. I said, what would you do? What do you think this country would be like if we did not have the U.S. troops, the U.S. military? And then I said, what do you think? Because you piss off a lot of people and betray a lot of people. Considering that, what do you think it would be like to live in this city with no law enforcement on the streets? And then I stated, what would you do if your place burned to the ground? Insinuating also that the firefighters I previously stated are also part of the 99% and an important part and of society.
And the threat I
also
made to you, I'm coming for
Let's
you.
take-
So let's
Watch out.
put it
This
in
is
context
So
before
just-
we try to
I'll
take
call you,
words
I'll give you a
and
number
try to
if you
twist
raise
them
your hand.
around the same way that you did so with a police officer, okay?
Choose one. You're first. Go ahead. And then you can interject.
We make less money than you do. So for you and Tony to think that the military is somehow glorified with all these monies and benefits, you're so off, dude. So off. He makes less than minimum wage. So for you to try to exclude soldiers from being part of Occupy Wall Street in the 99%, you're totally in the wrong. Totally in the wrong.
Let him interject, and then we'll, because it's a direct response. So.
All right.
I
Oh, did you?
No, but the money thing that's
One,
material.
two.
But
We'll give you
no,
two.
and I've never personally expressed.
Actually, it's not your right to tell her what's immaterial. If she wants to
Let's
say
let
something,
him-
she can say
let
something,
him-
period.
Let
Take
him
turns.
state, and
Well,
then
but she he tried to tell her, well, what you have to say is really not relevant. No,
He-
let her speak.
I was going to speak on his behalf in the sense that Eric and I have been
No.
working.
Okay.
Stop telling her what to say and what not to say. She was next in
Dictator.
line.
Everybody, let's all take a deep breath. Let's all take a deep breath.
Oh, I just said
Of
that.
course, it's a video.
Eric, stop telling people to not talk.
Okay, I would like
You
to
are
say
It was-
something.
different.
All right.
it-
Go ahead,
Guys,
Jack.
It's
guys,
not relevant.
Hey, can Patty
Guys.
please speak, or at
Let me
least
say
say that
something.
she's done? No, she was
Take a deep
next
breath.
in line.
threatening
Please.
each other and attacking each other is not going to get us anywhere.
I never
Okay.
threatened them.
So we got to be nice to each other. Let's please try to conduct ourselves like adults and be respectful and be kind and recognize that we're all fellow human beings. We're brother and sister human beings. We're all the same at the core. I yield the floor.
Did you have anything
I never threatened
you
him
wanted to talk about?
physically. I threatened him in other ways. I can't
Jeremy,
really think of it.
Baby, can Patty have the floor
Yeah.
again because Eric tried to cut her off and we don't want to do the same.
The only thing I was wanting to say is that I've known this person for a long time. I've disagreed with him on very many issues. I've already said that, and but I also know that his motives are not against the troops. They are not.
I'm
well,
sorry.
thank you for the disrespect. I appreciate
sorry.
that.
No.
I don't do that to you.
I love the disrespect towards my husband and my family.
I don't disrespect your husband. Your husband has chosen a profession that's to support his family, to try to make a better life for himself. Kudos, But
sorry.
at the same time, you don't have his life experiences. I don't have your life experiences. No one has my life experiences. And I think it's all, everything that we're talking about, it always comes back to disrespect the troops, disrespect the troops. Can we at least come to an agreement that we're going to have differences? It doesn't seem that this side can get over the disrespect of the troops. Okay, so there we have it. Where can we go from there? Where can we go from there to make some positive change?
Okay, I've tried to give them my life experiences being in the military. Basically, Eric told me my great-grandfather fought in World War II for no reason. Not to mention he's dead, so thank you for disrespecting my dead great-grandfather. Not to mention, Tony told me maybe my family should have spent less time in the military and more time getting educated. Sorry my family tried to provide a better life for their children. Sorry for that.
Come here, baby.
The disrespect. Do you know OWS and Anonymous just put out a call for the armed forces, comes back once again to not being in solidarity with OWS. They just put out a freaking call to the military and the armed forces to join them. I read today
As did Anonymous.
That's what I said, as Anonymous. You know, I just read on Occupy Marines today, a bunch of retired Army generals that wrote a letter to Obama saying you need to figure out how to solve this with Iran diplomatically before you send our brave young men and women to fight another war. So for you and Tony to post that we're all war-hungry people, you don't know my life experience. You don't know his life experience. You've never served in a war. You cannot judge him for what he has gone and done. And that's what you're doing. It's very disrespectful to him. It's very disrespectful to him. Actually, it's disrespectful to this whole town, given the majority of them are military, are retired military.
So it sounds like you feel hurt.
Oh, I feel very hurt and disrespected.
All right.
Amanda.
You're three.
You're
Amanda's next.
Peace and love is the way.
Well, I can show you the articles where they're not so peaceful and they're very hurtful.
Well, we can't control what other people say. You know, we can only control what we say and our own opinions.
Right, but I don't think, you know, somebody to say that Not My Tribe is not part of OCS, but then there's OCS plastered all over the website, needs to get their facts straight.
Well, Michael is
Actually, I think Amanda was next.
Yeah, Amanda was next.
Okay, well,
Can you do an interjection?
I need to interject.
It's a
Sorry.
direct.
Wow, you have an interjection for everybody.
Well, sure I do.
Everything's coming back again,
Yeah. So Michael has a website that has OCS plastered all over it. Does he speak for OCS?
Do I see him disrespecting anybody on it? No, I
No.
haven't.
I mean, so if it's not disrespectful to you, then you don't mind, even though he says he's not part of it.
Marley.
I
that's
think that's
great. He's giving-
that's actually asking
Go ahead, Raven.
for to
Response
put
to
a
that,
limitation
actually.
on.
Go ahead, Raven. I'll
on
let you
speech.
answer that one.
It's an issue of actually association, the same way that
Marley.
Kyle has been accused of
Come here.
certain crimes. No charges have been pressed in that matter at all. However, there is a level of association that you said warranted you guys, or for an OCS spokesperson, to speak out on that situation because of the association, even though that he has not been associated
Because of the association
with
name.
Occupy.
Because of the
So
association
if an issue comes up with Michael Clifton, and you've previously said that you previously dogged on him as well and said stuff about his stuff, because you said there's the association there because of the way that he does videos for Occupy Colorado Springs. You said that therefore makes him associated whether or not he's a part of it. No. You yourself have associated by plastering and putting several stories on Not My Tribe and making that a big issue on Not My Tribe. You've therefore also associated Not My Tribe with the Occupy Colorado Springs movement as well.
Okay,
So
let's
it's
give
by
the floor to
association.
Amanda.
I'm so excited that we're in the park again. I just want to say.
Molly, pick up the toys. Don't leave them there.
I just think that we have gotten way too personal with each other. I think that in the beginning this was something that was, we were all strangers, and now we have like these you know, we've grown to know each other, and you know, and now it's kind of like we're a family, right? And we are having these disagreements as families will, and you know, I do hang on, I haven't been here for a while.
You go ahead and say what you gotta say.
I haven't been here for a while, and because I just can't, I don't have the energy, I don't have, you know, I can't deal. Well, I can't deal with the negativity. I can't deal with the yelling. It's traumatic for me. The yelling in general is just, I just can't deal with it. And so, you know, maybe that's, you know, my personal issue or whatever, but I do feel like as adults, as we are, I think, maybe, that we can peacefully dissent with each other, perhaps, in a non-aggressive, non-attacking, you know, understanding, you know, that just because you have an opinion doesn't mean that somebody else's opinion is wrong. That it doesn't mean, okay, because we all, as our First Amendment rights, have our rights to our freedom of speech, and he has the very valid right to say whatever he wants on his blog. Personally, and you know what? And I really don't care what the name of this is. I don't care. I just want to do something. I don't care. We have all these people. We're wasting valuable energy, time, effort, whatever, sitting here arguing. And you know, instead of getting things valuable, important, monumental changes, spreading knowledge to the vast majority of the people that don't have any idea what's going on in this freaking world. So there you go. Amen. Oh, I'm sorry, honey bunny. You okay? Okay?
Okay. My question, I'd like to address my question specifically, just to get an answer. And some of the people are leaving, so maybe it.
We're listening.
Okay, I'll address David since you're here. Okay. As an American citizen who believes in the rights of American citizens, with this problem that we have, what do you think is the best way to overcome the problem? What would make you feel good about the group and about working together with everyone here? What would make you feel good about that? What is your solution?
I can't claim to have a solution. I can just claim that I think first off, the level of mutual respect is obviously missing
Necessary.
in this group at this time. I think that there's been a power struggle, and it seems like it's been from the get-go, and it's just changed characters from time to time. But there's been a power struggle of who's going to be in charge of what, and who's going to be telling everybody else what to do, and so forth. And so
Nobody should tell anyone what to do.
exactly. As a leaderless movement, this has turned into who can be the leader.
Right. And I have a direct response.
Okay.
To her. Sorry.
Yeah, because I was gonna go down the line and
Oh, I'm
basically
sorry.
ask.
Go ahead, Brittany.
You have a response. Go ahead.
Do you have something to say to her?
Well, yeah, because I wanted to respond to you. And then Raven. But I'll start with you.
But you left, and so then we were moved on to a different topic. Maybe if we could all just stay in the circle.
Well, I raised my hand, but nobody looked at me.
I know, but
So,
maybe we
can I just respond to you?
Yeah.
You said we were a family? Not very family-like, not to feel welcome in a marriage.
I do agree, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And I hate to say it, I really hate to say it, but as long as he's in charge of things, I will not feel welcome here.
Well, nobody's in charge of anything, is what we all need to come to
But that's what it seems like, is he's like in charge of everything. So as long as he continues his little anti-war, anti-trip stuff, we're not going to feel welcome here.
I think
We've had 2 anti-war rallies, which we've had tons of
Okay,
other
you know what I'm
things, too.
talking about, with the disrespect. We're not going to feel welcome here. You guys need the military support, and as long as this is going on, you're not going to get the military support, and that's what we should be known for, considering we're around
Can
like
I just
6
squash
military
this
bases.
now, please? Oh, my lances.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Away.
Okay. I believe in the Constitution.
Okay.
According to the Constitution, he has the right to say whatever he wants on his blog. Okay? And now what we're doing is now we're making this a personal issue, which has nothing to do with why we're here. You know, I know what he said. I know what he said on his blog. I know it was
It's not as little
offensive.
as that. You said yourself you haven't been around, so it's
Right.
when it's
I know. What I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say.
Here in
I know.
the GAs,
I know.
every GA,
Raven, calm down.
Stop.
Calm down.
Hold on. She's got the floor, and then we're doing you.
Can we let Raven
Did you-
speak? Because she's
Well, I think
very
Okay.
Let her finish.
Okay, I understand. We're all very upset about things that were said and done in the past, but that was the past. This is here, this is now. I want to move forward. I don't want to talk about this anymore. We've been talking about this for a long time. I would please like the respect of being able to be heard and not interrupted and by separate side talk, if that is okay. I
I
feel
others as you would have them do unto you then.
I just asked for a lighter. I'm sorry. I needed to smoke a cigarette. This is very stressful for me.
Okay, pick up that mount.
So anyway, I'm just saying, we are all here we are all very passionate. We are all very dedicated. We are all very motivated. We all have our reasons for being here. We all want to change something or another, right? Okay, and we're all here, and we're all meeting. That's amazing. We're all meeting here. And you know, I wish that we could just agree to disagree and just say, okay, you hurt my feelings. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Can't we just say we're sorry and just move past this? I'm tired of this. I want change. I'm here for change. I'm sorry. Thank you.
You're right. No, apologizing for hurting each other's feelings. I mean, if everybody did that.
All right, first off, I just want to say, because your statements insinuate that we're not participating in change, we're not doing anything to encourage change. However, I actually still am currently going to every city council meeting. I've still been having meetings with city council members.
That was not a personal attack.
There's several of us that even are here actually addressing situations with the Colorado Senate, and this does actually go further deeper than simply what he says on his blog. Because if it was simple as what he says on his blog, that would be boom, done. But what he says on his blog is just representative, though, of exactly the same things that himself and Tony, as the two main players in that situation, have brought into our GAs. Right. GAs are now, or well, when everybody was still attending, the GAs, you couldn't have a GA. You couldn't talk about anything else because the GAs broke out into that. And this is not something so far in the past. This is still to this day, because yesterday Eric called the police and said that his office had been burglarized on February 23rd or the 24th, and then yesterday decided to call the cops and say that it was myself or Jeremy, and that he had intentions of carrying or getting a restraining order against us as well. Eric has tried to make himself become a victim, just as he did so with the Facebook account that he tried to create and then say, well, Raven did that, and I'm a victim, and there needs to be a restraining order. Okay, so there's a situation that does need to be addressed. It's not something that is going to be as simple as, okay, I'm sorry, everybody, let's go on and let's go live happily ever after. Because the problem still exists. Okay. I'm tired of addressing the symptoms. You address the problem, and then the symptoms go away.
What I was gonna say, so you're fine.
You address the problem, and the symptoms leave with it.
Okay. But in a leaderless movement, Raven, and in solidarity with OWS, we cannot kick anyone out. We cannot kick anyone out.
He's made that decision and done so.
Stack. All right, I'm next in stack. Maybe, two things. One, it might be great for you guys everybody to just apologize to each other and agree to try not to hurt each other anymore going forward.
I think that would be a great step.
I mean, people have hurt each other, yes. It doesn't mean we have to escalate and keep hurting each other. We can just stop and recognize that no one likes to be hurt, no one likes to be excluded, and go from there. The second thing I would like to say, support the troops, support the troops. Now, it's been a long, long time since I was a troop, and my memory's a little hazy, but I seem to recall something about an oath to defend the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. So, defending the Constitution, what does that mean? It seems to me that means that a troop would be the first to defend the free speech of a person saying an unpopular or hurtful thing.
Right.
The troops would be the first to defend somebody who said troops are baby killers, troops are awful. The troops should be the ones to defend them against the mob if they're actually upholding free speech and defending the Constitution.
Can I address that?
Absolutely.
Jeremy has said that he defends his right to say that. Eric does not need to be disrespectful about it, though, and continue it on. You know, Jeremy has told him that plenty of times. I've told him that plenty of times, that my husband defends his right to have his blog, to say what he needs to say. Okay, that's done. Secondly, what was it? It was Occupy San Francisco, wasn't it? That came up with that rule that if somebody was trying to take over the Occupy movement, you could vote them out and impeach them. I read it. I'm just saying, they came up with it for reasons like this.
I think we need a tribe that's big enough to include all the humans.
Can I ask you something indirectly, Jack?
Yes.
What would you recommend as a way to cure the situation, if you will?
What?
If you have, because like you just said, you can't kick anybody out of the movement. However, if you have somebody or a group of a person or like a couple of people that specifically are really sabotaging the group or are pushing people away to very much so, like yelling at them, screaming at them, telling them to leave all the time, telling them that they don't know what the movement's about, telling them that they're false, telling them that they're ridiculous, that they're all this other stuff. How would you deal with those people? Continue
so
to allow
my
them?
answer to your question, because you asked me this question directly, is I would take a moment. Let's all take a breath and step away from anger, step away from attacking each other, and just take a moment and meditate on loving kindness.
Okay, but if that person or those people continue with that same action,
Well, let's try it first and see what happens.
It's done, been and tried. It's done, been tried. Excuse my southern.
Amanda.
Okay.
Okay.
All I'm saying is I think that I'm not saying that things are not being done. People are doing things. People are doing great things. But it would be amazing if we could all collaborate those efforts together to make something that would be okay. And then secondly, wait just a second. These hands. What I wanted to say is I think we are letting our emotions get the best of us sometimes, and I think we are responding personally to things that maybe aren't entirely personal at times, and interpreting someone's actions is maybe not what they are, and instead of maybe just ousting them publicly on the internet, why can't we just be like, hey man, like, I didn't really appreciate the way you said this or what you did about that. Why can't we just talk? I don't understand why we have to be in this constant media sabotaging brigade thing. I don't know.
We have a direct interjection.
Media sabotaging brigade.
And then 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
You still have an interjection?
I actually forgot because it was whatever.
So we'll go ahead and
she
start.
addressed first. What did you address first?
Let's
I'm sorry.
start.
I have no idea.
Me neither.
All we're doing is really just causing more fight and anger, and we're all against the war, and what we're doing right now is fighting against each other, and that's just essentially war, not peace.
Amen.
We all have a common
Nobody
enemy.
loves each other right now because we're all fighting
we love
against.
each other.
No, there are
love
some
everyone.
people who hate each other to death right now because of all the fighting that's going on against. Well, you're bashing everybody, and all you're doing really is causing each other hurt and pain and everything else. So I believe everybody has the right to their opinion, but you should just keep it to yourselves. If anything, if you're gonna write anybody on your opinions, text them through your phone, not blog it all over the internet and stuff. So I think a lot of people's feelings have been hurt. But like I said, if you have personal opinions, don't just go writing it all over the internet. I believe in freedom of speech. But if you write it all over the internet, you're just going to end up causing fights like this. And then you're going to hit that brick wall and you're not going to go anywhere.
I think I have a solution.
Let's, since we have a few in stack, let's go ahead. Let's give Michael the floor. Because he's had his hand up for a while.
I would love this.
Checker from Missouri. What I want to say to Layla. Lila, you're the youngest person here. What we're all doing here is supposed to be for you, okay? On the way here, someone who knew that he was going to be voted out printed up these to remove people's votes from them. Somebody here called the police on other people to prevent them from being here so that they could not vote. This is not what democracy looks like. This is what disenfranchisement looks like. Okay? You need to understand this. This movement was for you. Everyone here that's in the majority was here to vote him out because they wanted a fresh start.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted a fresh start.
Well, it's not very democratic to vote someone out.
Can I just say something?
Just because you disagree with
They wanted to clear out every single rule that he put in place to protect his power. They wanted a fresh start. And look at this.
Actually, maybe not necessarily vote him out, but take away his.
You're smart enough to figure this out. Remember this day when people... No. Remember this day when more people showed up than ever after.
Erica.
There are plenty of movements around here that can draw people.
No, that's okay. I'm next.
For the past month, This movement has been no more than a handful. Okay?
Because everyone left to campaign for Ron Paul. It's not our.
Are you serious?
Okay,
Okay, no.
You know what? Here's an idea. Learn some respect. That's what your 15-word goal is.
Can I say I object.
15-year-old child.
Okay, can I say what I have to say? Because I never ever get to say what I get to say in a GA. It happened to me last night when he kept interrupting me.
Hey, stop. She's got the floor.
I'm sorry.
She does?
You are 15. I'm from the South. Children are meant to be seen, not
He's got
heard.
an interjection.
My daughter would not be in this conversation right now at all. This is an adult conversation.
Well, luckily,
Number two,
I'm not your daughter.
Hey, I'm your elder. Do not cut me off.
Hey.
Do not cut me
abuse.
off.
How is that abuse, Eric?
Coming from Eric, that's fucking
That's coming from you, that's funny. Come here, Marley, come here.
Say what I have to say.
Marley.
And if you're respectful, I will give you the same privilege back.
You already did. Wait till we get to the truck, okay?
You're the little girl.
You wanna hold the keys?
Who came up to the tree, right? And talked crap.
You already did.
Is that my understanding?
Please give us time and place. It's an accusation against her behavior.
Okay, well I'm pregnant and I don't remember freaking time to me. I don't even remember 10 minutes ago.
Can anyone back her statement?
the day that her father Tony had the two kids stand on the street corner. Two of the U.S. military soldiers come up to him and started telling him,
Yeah, he went potty.
"You don't kill troops," and they got in an argument. She got in their face and said, "You kill troops. Why don't you just admit it? Why don't you just admit it? You know you do." And getting in their face and kept getting offended. I was standing right next to you.
Please, I will give her the same respect.
I defended my dad, but I didn't say anything to you.
Is that fair?
No, I said to the truth.
But
You got in their face. I was right next to y'all.
Raven,
What are you doing? You're getting in people's faces, Raven.
Hey.
I'm right here. You got up like this. And
Raven! She's a kid.
No, I'm showing what she did.
Everybody,
My God.
Talk to it.
Yes.
Marley, come here.
Two corners.
Yeah,
Everybody
take a breath,
relax.
Take a breath.
Where am I in the stack?
You
Am I
are.
up?
He's got an interjection.
All right, I really want to
You
talk.
are next.
We will,
I don't
I want the
remember what I
moment
was going to
of
say.
loving
See, I told
kindness
you I'm pregnant. I
meditation.
don't remember 10 minutes ago.
Okay, let's all be gentle with each other. We're all humans
Two.
here.
He's an interjection.
Okay.
And then him, and then you.
Good.
So go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to pose the
Marley.
question about
Marley,
what power
stay out of
I
conversation.
have. I mean, this is all the things that we do
You
are
already
just
went.
done by anybody who's participating. They're decided by whoever's participating and wants to do things, and that's the way things are decided, and that's the way things we've done them. I don't particularly feel like I have any particular power at all. Now, and as to accusations about trying to disenfranchise, it may be news to people who haven't been turning up to meetings for months, but we have implemented regulations akin and part of what Occupy Wall Street does in order to prevent, the congregation of First Pres to trot on down here and say we're taking over just by majority. So of course there have to be kind of rules of conduct to make sure that you don't have people sabotaging and thinking that they're scot-free, they can just do all those things. No, there have to be disciplinary measures and means to address misbehavior. And
Well, I think
that's what you were presented with today. You've known these things for a number of times, but it's not up to an arbitration committee to be formed if you've left. But if you want to come back, then an arbitration committee has to look at that and work out with you to figure out, let's say for Jeremy, and
Who's
say
the head of arbitration committee? Because no, it's
all,
not been addressed.
the arbitration committee is formed on we don't have
Is it
one right now.
anonymous?
So if we don't have one, and you're trying to tell us we have to address these situations.
We haven't needed an arbitration committee. Do you understand?
Do you understand?
Until someone wanted to vote you out.
Hold on. No. Hold on. You just got
Excuse me, I was speaking.
I was speaking. You talk too goddamn much. You need to learn to shut your fucking mouth.
Trying to go into an organized faction.
This is not helpful.
I haven't been saying anything.
I'll take my spot.
You say so much.
Let's run.
Right.
Loving kindness meditation.
I guess it's not even my place to have to explain this to you. If you'd showed up at meetings, you would know about these things. So obviously, if someone says they want to burn Occupy down, a arbitration a group of
What
people.
about the people that say they want to burn Bibles? As part of
Put up your hand if you want to speak.
But
That's
they
interesting.
would have to then meet with a member and say, all right, can we figure out how you can stop saying and not have the intention of burning the whole thing down, so that way we can all feel you can be a trustworthy member of this group. Those are the kind of mechanisms that naturally have to take place. So I mean, I'll stop explaining it to you. If you can figure it out yourself.
Naturally have to take place if you want to stay in power. I'll give you three things. Three things right here.
I'm not in power.
Michael, stop.
You just handed
you're
this
controlling
out
the
and
webs-
said that there's not an arbitration committee currently in place.
Let's go
Therefore,
on
this
stack.
is you.
We've got
This
one,
is
we've
you.
got two, we've
Thank you,
got three,
Patrick.
we've got
Thank you.
four.
No, this is
Thank
you.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Jack.
my turn to talk.
What?
You're
Right
up
here.
next.
I'm on
He
the
had his
stack.
hand first,
Here we go.
and then you, and
So
then her.
what I really think would benefit us right now is to all of us just take a moment and silently meditate on loving kindness
I'm not meditating on shit right
and
now.
try to emanate loving kindness towards our fellow human beings. Just for a moment. Just release the anger, feel some love. We're all humans here. Let's be nice to each other.
Okay. You asked for examples of you being in power. I'm going to say the Facebook page that you're squatting that was, unilaterally taken over by having people kicked out. Then there's the website that you're adminning that people don't want you to admin anymore. And there's obviously this committee which is in place to protect you, because that's what everyone came to do, was to oust you.
Go sit on the bench, okay?
What you came to do is to participate where you haven't been participating before. So that's what you've come to do.
You're up next.
Oh, well, why can't we all just be equals with each other? I mean, I understand that we all have our opinions.
I would say because there's power grabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. There's always going to be a need for power, greed, and everything else in this world. I've known this because my grandma tried to burn me on a cross whenever I was little. So I know how much pain there is in the United States. I have literally felt that with my own family because they tried to kill me.
Okay, can I
And
Let her finish. She's talking.
I believe that everybody has their rights as Americans and as everybody else, but why do we have to just keep creating hatred amongst each other and not just grasp that everybody has their own opinion, their own rights, their own grasps of love? Nobody can define and nobody can tell you what your opinions, what your thoughts is, and what you feel, what you don't feel, and what you can and cannot say. It's just not understandable how everybody else can look at the world and say, you know what, this is a piece of shit that we're living in, but you should just be all thankful that you're freaking here to begin with, and just be freaking happy that you should be living here and not somewhere where you're a slave, somewhere where you can be dictated upon and ruled over. And that's pretty much all I feel here, is that everybody thinks that there's a ruler, but if you're religious, then God is your ruler. Nobody can rule over you. Nobody can tell you what to do but you.
And also, nobody can make you.
Okay, I have to talk before I forget it. If this isn't a dictatorship and this is a vote night, why didn't we vote on that? How come this just got handed from us from one person? Why did we not vote on that as a group?
I think they're saying that it was already voted in.
Well, I wasn't counted in on that vote.
I think that's what they were saying, was that they were
Actually, no, it wasn't voted in. The St. Paul's Principles was voted in.
At the
This
last meeting you were at, so what was that, a month and a half ago?
Yeah, you can just slip in anything you want, because you and two of your friends have been here.
Show up.
You're not my boss.
No.
I have a life outside Occupy. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to point something out, because you just stated that arbitration committee actually does not exist at this time, correct?
It has
It
has to be formed for each person.
Has the arbitration? It's a simple question, yes or no. Has the arbitration?
Did anyone recuse themselves from me because I have a problem with him, you, and everyone still here I have a problem with?
Well, then that might be a problem for you.
Well,
then.
the
But the
three
fact
of
is,
us, yes.
it would
really?
be, it would be whatever
It'd be a problem for you to get.
It would be whatever appropriate.
When did you guys say
Really,
you
get
were
out of the
part
Of
it?
3 or 4
Well,
people that would need to deliberate with you. That's what it would be.
Look at me
We
here.
have discussed what in our
You have become the devil
But there's not one.
that you
right?
claim to fight against.
Okay, so hold on. So
You don't like the government because you feel like you're disenfranchised.
Nobody.
You don't like the government because you feel you're disenfranchised. Look at what you've done.
Hey,
So what I was getting, so anyways, as I
You're
was,
nobody.
That's what you've done.
You're the death of this movement.
That's what he did. He didn't type that up. You typed it up and handed it to us without it going through.
More people showed up to get rid of you than will show up for anything else for you.
Even if we're not even a part of Occupy anymore, we will show up to get rid of you.
Come on.
okay, I just want to point something out then. I just want to point something out. Eric himself
How
said
is this
a couple.
helping you?
Eric himself
Because
said.
he's evil. He's pure evil. I'm gonna say it. He's evil.
Hey guys, let's get Raven the floor.
Okay, Eric himself a couple of moments ago said that the arbitration committee actually does not exist at this time. Because I just said, who is the He said, well,
It
there's
has to
not
be
one.
formulated
So,
for each
anyways,
person, Raven.
what I'm trying to say is this: Eric actually, in actuality, what he's tried to do is play his little game that he always tries to play. He tries to seem like he's actually trying to be diplomatic about a situation and do it the correct way. However, what he's really tried to do is say that until all of you people go and speak with the arbitration committee, which at this time does not exist, then you no longer have the ability to vote, submit proposals, or participate in sensitive committee work, depending on the ongoing mediation. So he essentially has kicked you out of Occupy
No one has
and
that
said
No,
until
no,
because
no,
no one can
according
kick
to
anyone
this,
out.
I'm saying what he's trying to do.
Until
He was
you're
talking
ready
about
for us to
somebody
vote.
we was talking about somebody that's who's trying to take leader, who's trying to take power. What I'm saying is, what he's done then is trying to play this little game of, oh, let me do it democratically. In actuality, what he done is took your rights away to vote and participate in anything and said you have to meet with the arbitration committee. Arbitration committee does not exist at this time.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll
Therefore,
make her
he's
pick 'em
saying
up.
until I create the arbitration committee or
that's
until
okay.
our arbitration committee gets together, then you no longer have those rights. So therefore it's based on whenever they decide that they get this committee together and go on, and then once they decide to mediate on it and talk about it, and if they decide at that point to give you those rights back.
Come here, Ryan.
The arbitrating committee is formed on a per person basis based on whoever is facing whatever is misdeeds or things that have been observed that are against the interests of the group. And so that's how it's formed. So in your case, where you have to answer for a number of things, then we'd have to find a group of 3 or 4 people who could then discuss that with you and figure out how you could then become a trusted member again.
Okay, so
right?
Patrick, was you a part of this? Was you a part of saying that I had to have one of these papers, or that Michael?
We
or
were
the
part
people?
of saying that.
No.
Well,
Was
listen,
you a part of
listen.
it?
We were a part of saying that when somebody does something that goes against Occupy, that something needs to happen to make sure that they can't come in and override votes and whatnot.
So you've seen this paper before today?
Yes.
Of course, that does
And
beg the
did
question.
who decided who was part of the decision that this person's actions went against these policies, therefore they need to be served with this paper?
Well, I think some of them are pretty obvious. Like,
Obvious or not, who decided that? Was you a part of the decision of who exactly here was going to be handed one of these papers tonight?
No.
Who decided that?
I want to know who was.
You was not a part of that decision.
No, but I
Okay,
agree
because
with
what
it.
he just said was the committee is based on once a person does something, then we decide who's going
Marley,
to be on the committee.
come
So
back.
Therefore, he's the one that decided. So how do we
Not-
say?
not when you do
how do
something.
we say that his actions then also would warrant him to be served, essentially served with this exact same piece
Can
of
I
paper?
That
How
would,
is that decided?
you would bring that
How is
to
that
GA.
decided?
Exactly.
If I sit here and say I think that
Exactly.
he should be under the exact same thing that he's trying to tell me I'm under, that like one or more of these applied to him as well, and therefore he needs to seek contact the arbitration committee.
Yep.
Can I just?
Well, and if you were an active part of
Can I just-
Occupy, then it
I
would be
was an
something.
active part of
Well,
Occupy.
instead of going and deleting the Facebook page,
She didn't
removing
delete the
people,
Facebook page, but
she
that's
did delete the Facebook
Okay,
page.
but can I just ask something real quick?
Yes.
I just want to have a question. Who voted on who was going to be on this committee? That's what I want to know. Who voted on who was going to be on
Apparently,
this committee?
Eric decided himself who
That's where
he
I'm
would
lost.
serve this paper to tonight.
Because that's where I'm lost.
Because who is
voted
considered
who
an
was gonna be
active
on this
member at
committee?
this time.
I can't
under-
tell you. We have voted in the committee and the needs that there needs
Okay,
to
but
be.
who voted who to be on that committee? That's what I'm saying.
Well, it was something that we implement when we find problems within the group.
Okay, without the rest of OCS to be there for the vote to vote the people into the committee?
So we're
Is that
not
what I'm
supposed to
understanding?
vote, but we're not supposed to vote anything unless everybody shows up.
Well, Facebook, suggestion would be nice.
You're not supposed to scare everyone away, so you only have 4 people together to vote everything in that you want.
Or can I ask, when was
Well,
the
don't
last?
be
What
so-
was the
don't
last
be so
GA that
scared
had
then.
minutes
Show
put up
up.
on your
Show
side?
up.
You want to
and
talk about
participate.
being scared? Why don't you call my husband a baby killer to his face instead of wanting to put a restraining order on him for something he didn't do the night he was on CQ?
He has
But I'm
to
saying, so
stop
how are people
making
even-
threats.
Show up and participate, Eric. You're saying that you don't want me to participate.
No, you
That's
can
what I'm
fully
getting from that,
participate.
too.
You know what that says? That says that until certain things are resolved, that your influence on important decisions has to be limited. Because for the self-protection of Occupy, that's all. But of course, you can participate. You can
Yeah, thank you.
You can express and bring up whatever you want.
Can I just
That's
say-
a whole.
So did anybody else help you decide who you was going to serve this paper to?
Yes, this was a result of conversations over.
He just told me that he was not a part of the decision. Yes, he was a part of the talk about the arbitration committee. I'm asking who
Wait, you got it
decided,
over the internet?
who participated and
discussed-
decided
Nobody
who
else
would be
got-
served
We
tonight.
say it,
discussed
but you
this
did.
over a period.
Is that what I'm
of-
understanding?
Who decided who would be
I don't
served
sound
with
like
this
I'm a
paper
bitch. I'm just
tonight?
pregnant. Hormonal.
I decided
that.
I decided
You
that
decided.
I decided that
That
you
that
decided
I would
that
do
God
that
Stay over
to-
the internet,
to-
but nobody else did.
Okay, so you did that
Who are we
decision on
supposed
your
to ask over
own.
there now when everybody stepped back?
It's about democracy, baby.
He got to stay over the internet, but nobody else
It's a
got to
nice
stay over
night
there.
out. There's some good mountain air blowing in. We got the stars.
Is your husband here?
We got the moon
Yeah,
above
Can
us.
I ask, by the
cooling
way,
down.
under all the protocols and regulations, how does
I do have a final
burning
thing to
Bibles
say.
outside of Fort
Huh?
Carson
I do
fit
have a
into
final
play?
thing to say.
I think that was a joke that somebody made. I don't believe that was anything that Occupy did.
Actually, that was a part of the GA. The GA that Father Ian said, I'm out of here, I'm done with this.
Wait, but
Also,
so that-
the GA where you guys said
Wait.
that Patrick was a closet Catholic, right?
Wait, that was.
When he said, you guys aren't burning my Bible.
Wait, I believe that was a joke that was being made. I don't think there was anything adopted. There wasn't any.
You're not burning
action
my
made.
Bible,
Did
that's
you
for
say
sure.
You're not burning my Bible?
Come
You have
back.
a family
I
Bible?
did not say that.
You don't have a
Yeah,
family
Michael wants
Bible
you.
at home?
I do have a Bible
that
that was
you're
given
not-
to
Michael
me
wants
by
you.
my parents, but I would willingly burn it. It doesn't bother me.
Nobody called you a closet Catholic at all?
Just come back.
Not that I remember.
Okay.
He's on his way. He's just walking around.
So, Stack.
Go ahead.
So, I would like to pose a question to the group, and that is, how do we create utopia in our time?
That's a long process.
Yeah, but I feel like we've already had a long process, and it's time for a change of subject. So I would like to ask that question: how do we create utopia? What is a perfect world for everybody? With all of our different ideas and views and perspectives, what does that look like?
Respect for everyone.
Respect for everyone.
How about first and foremost, stop yelling at each other.
Stop yelling at
I can't handle that.
Let's all
I
just stop.
can't do that. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Whew.
she'll sleep well
And
tonight.
maybe we should stop.
Yeah, she'll be okay. She'll still wake up
trying
at 7.
to discredit each other.
Yeah. Let's stop
Maybe-
persecuting each other.
Maybe we should
Stop
stop.
attacking.
Maybe we should work together
Yeah.
instead of working separately. Maybe we should be a unit instead of factions.
Okay. Can I
That's
just...
good ideas.
I can't work with somebody who's gonna disrespect my family. I can't. There was nothing. I just can't. I can't work with that. I've tried to be peaceful. Jeremy's tried to give ideas, and Eric kind of pushed those out the way too. So I just can't work with somebody who's not gonna show me the same respect that I tried to show to them.
Okay, that's a very valid and and I would like to see how maybe this can be resolved.
Yes.
How
can we resolve this?
What would make you feel better?
I don't know, Michael. What do you think? How should this be resolved?
Borrowing from the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, when something like this happens, it's our right, nay our duty, to overthrow this. And I say we dissolve everything that OCS has ever put into place at all.
I second that.
Amen.
Third,
fourth, fifth.
Start fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dissolve, and maybe we can then collaborate on what we all can agree on, what we all would like to be part of. And I know that there's going to be some people that don't agree with some things, and you don't have to participate. That doesn't mean you have to go on Facebook and go and say fuck this, fuck them, do this, nah.
Oh yeah, I agree with you in the spirit of the Declaration of Independence that once a government stops working in the best interest of the people, it is the people's obligation to overthrow that government at that time.
See, I thought that's what we're supposed to be doing here.
Exactly. So that's exactly
government.
what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be getting back to the basics. We're supposed to be talking about the things like stopping SOPA from being put in place. We're supposed to be talking about NDAA. We're supposed to be talking about surveillance cameras and the civil liberties that could be put into play if that was to occur, even at a local level. So, and I think that is part of what, obviously that's a lot of what Occupy Wall Street was about. I will say though, as right before I left Occupy, or stopped going, not left it, but stopped going to the meetings, is because I kept being told that, Raven, you can't be going and talking to city council members now. Raven, you can't be giving anybody the idea that change is possible in any way, shape, or form with this government or with anything within this current system. I was told that I should not be going and trying to do things diplomatically or to utilize the system in any way, shape, or form. Michael was told that voting is completely against, to promote any type of voting is completely against Occupy Wall Street, and that is completely wrong, and that we should not tell anybody to vote. We should tell everybody not to vote. And nobody should be trying to utilize the system at all, but rather stand on the street corner holding a sign. And quite frankly, I believe that Occupy Wall Street and I believe myself personally sees that change has to come, and that change has to take place. And in order for that to do so, it has to be attacked from all sides, from inside, from outside, any others. We have to utilize every possible way to do that. So that does mean utilizing the system that's in place. It means utilizing new ways. It means going against the old ways. It means utilizing all ways, and not being told that no, we don't do that as Occupy.
To play the devil's advocate, because that's fun. Occupy Wall Street is not to be affiliated with any political party, as I am understanding of this. So.
And the only solution
What
is
part of what I just said is associated with the political party?
Can I just say
Because
something?
I'm not a Ron Paul supporter, as I've been
Because you said
told I
something that suggested that. Maybe I inferred that wrong. I apologize.
You can go vote at the ballots, and you don't have to go vote on. Oh, I only have to go vote when there's a campaign for a specific candidate. You can actually go vote on specific ordinance that they're getting ready to put in place. You can go vote on yes or no. I want to find this.
Right, that's not what I was saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't vote for president. I have no political affiliation because I believe they're all dirty politicians and they're not going to do anything.
Well, there's a good thing that we can.
But
agree on.
no, I'm sorry. This goes back once again to last night's GA. That I got told that I was a Republican and I'm trying to turn OCS into a Republican thing. Actually, she got told that. I got told that. He got told that. They're affiliating us with parties when I don't even vote for president. I will go vote on laws and ordinances. I will not vote for a president.
Okay. Can I say something? Whew. So, again, this is very personal and just shouldn't be. I don't know why anybody's saying anything about anybody except, who cares if you're a hippopotamus? I don't care I don't care if you're a hippopotamus. Let's just work together and get something, you know. I know we're all working on different things. Why can't we all just come together and talk to each other as human beings, as adults? I know. Can I, okay, I just want this to be resolved. A, I'm cold. B, I can't waste any more of my energy on this back and forth. I need a resolution. I need a resolution.
Can I just say, like, I tried to explain that to them, that Occupy was not meant to be a right or left wing movement. I got shut out with that too. I completely got shut out by trying to explain that.
Okay, so how about we implement a system?
I would like to come up with a resolution. Would anybody else like to come out with a resolution?
Do that you keep telling us to move on from. That's exactly what we are trying to do, is implement a system where that type of thing.
No, what we're doing is going back and forth. He said, she said, but I don't care about that. I don't care what anybody said about anything. What I want to do is, how are we going to fix this? How are we going to move on? How are we going to...
What have you done to help fix this lately?
Wait, so how we're moving on?
That's what I'm asking. What are you doing to fix it then? What is it that we should be doing?
Well, I think the talking here tonight is a step in the direction of fixing it.
I think
she's participating. We're all trying to participate in an orderly manner.
I just can't.
Let's try not to do the attacks. Let's try to come up with a positive way. So, you know, what is going to make it? What is going to make, my question to you, what is going to make this work? I agree with your statement about the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Now, suppose we dismantle, where do we go from there? What is your suggestion?
Wherever everyone ends up when they next meet together, I hope it's in a forward direction.
So say...
Personally, the Occupy label doesn't mean as much to me as the progress that I've made when I gave it up.
Okay. So
I'm saying everyone here who cares to do something important, if the Occupy label is what's burdening them because someone is squatting it and won't give it up and won't leave for the betterment of the movement, if that's the case, they need to put their efforts somewhere else.
I beg to differ.
Oh my god. Sorry. It's just like, everyone keeps talking and I've been raising my hand and I will forget what I have to say, so I need to say it. Either the problem leaves or I leave and I will go focus on the women's rights issues right now. And I will say fuck Occupy because it's obviously dead. Obviously. And that's not my fault. That's your fault.
I just want to say something that I think Patty was correct in saying, like, talking about this, us standing here and talking about this is actually the first step in the right direction. And that's why I feel like for somebody but it feels like you continue to be like, okay, we got to get on. Let's just stop talking about it and let's move on. No, part of talking about it is in the first step.
Okay,
the first step is talking about it.
We're just all we're doing is being accusatory.
No.
All we're being yes. This is all back and forth.
This is fact.
Okay, listen. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Talk out what's bothering people, because if I never know what's bothering you, you never know what's bothering me, then we'll continue to act in the same manner. But if you say, hey, this bothers me when we do that, then I can change my way.
We are doing it peacefully.
No, there was yelling. I had to leave.
Can we just?
You think that if I raise my voice one decimal, it's yelling?
Or we just leave?
Because it is.
Because this is going nowhere.
If you want a simple solution, you have no checks and balances. You have no checks and balances because this guy grabbed the choke chain and won't let it go. You want checks and balances? Have him add everybody as an admin. I've been standing here for 2 hours. It's starting to get cold now, and you guys still haven't come to any conclusion. So let the leash loose. Let everybody be an admin, and then you got your checks and balances. If somebody starts screwing around, kick them out. I don't fucking care. I'm just tired of fucking standing here listening to people go in circles.
That's what I'm saying.
How dare you make such accusations?
Okay, I think that I'm going to use an analogy. This is like...
I'm going to go join the women's rights movement, guys. You guys good luck with your occupation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate what you said, okay? This, to me, appears like we're lancing Boyle. You got the farmer's got a big ass boil on his ass. It hurts like hell. He can't do anything. All he can concentrate is on that damn boil. The doctor comes in, lances it, drains the gook out, everything, and he starts to heal. This is what we've done. We've lanced the fucking boil tonight, okay? So let's just get it all out, get all the poison out so we can start healing and start working in a positive manner. We've got things coming up that we need to be cohesive as a unit to work on. We don't always have to, we're not always going to be able to attend. I wasn't able to attend for several months because of my illness. I don't have much longer left. I've only got a couple years left. I would like to accomplish something before I leave this planet. I want to get health care for everyone, and we're working on that Saturday. President Obama's coming. I want to tell him no fucking drones in Colorado Springs, in, you know, none of the crap, you know, let's not kill people and think, oh, this is wonderful. I'm going to go to war. I'm doing this out here at Schreiber Air Force Base and blowing up people 47,000 miles away, but I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, there are things that, you know, there are the cameras. There's a lot of positive energy behind fighting the cameras. Barry Noreen's got a whole thing. So can we get this poison out? Can we get this done so we can start actually working?
By the way, since you want to accuse her of making an anonymous video, I made that video. Since we're all coming clean about things. Thank you. Since you want to accuse her of doing everything,
okay, well,
I made it.
Thank you for the thank you for that. That helps the healing.
Can I have an Occupy Wall Street tattoo on my leg. On my leg for the rest of my life. It's there. My heart is in this, and it pains me. It pains me to see a group of motivated and dedicated individuals for change to sit here and just not implement or emulate the change that we are trying to put out into the universe. That's all I'm saying. And I can't be a part of something that is just hateful and just, you know, blah blah, you know, back and forth. You did this. It's not about. It shouldn't be about that. It shouldn't be about that. It shouldn't be about who. It should be about, okay, you know,
Get your truck, dude, because I already denounced myself. I'm joining the fucking women's shit with Christy. They can fucking have their little Occupy and go to hell.
Let me just say this. I have been fighting this fight since they killed my fellow college students in Kid State in May of 1970. Nothing's changed. We're still fighting the same fight. We're fighting for women's rights. Again, for reproductive rights in 2012.
I know, right?
You know, for Christ's sake. We're fighting wars. We've been fighting wars. My dad resigned from the Army after 28 years. He was a Louisiana rice farmer who became an oil worker, and he quit because he didn't want to send any more men to die in Vietnam. Then we go to this place and this place and this place, and it's all police actions. We're still fighting wars. We're in a military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us about. That was 60 years ago. So we're still fighting the same wars. But the problem is we're gutting each other.
Exactly, and that's what they want us to do.
I know,
that's exactly what they want.
So what we've got to do is we've got to come to an understanding that there are going to be things that each one of us is going to do. I'm going to work on the War on Women also.
Right.
You know, I'll be attending that up in Denver.
And that's great.
And I'm going to be protesting the wars. I'm going to be working on health care stuff. Not everybody's going to be able to attend. We have real lives outside of this.
Amen.
You know, people have to work and earn money, pay rent, buy groceries, babysit the child. There are real issues that we have to deal with, so we can't all attend everything. We need to understand that, and we need to say, okay, put your positive energies in where they will do the most good. Attend what you can attend, and please try to keep the positive stuff going and let the negatives go. That's my opinion.
I think that's a great suggestion, and I also believe, how about then this? Since what we can't seem to agree on is who was at what vote and what happened there and what was taking place there, why don't we just sit here and maybe not tonight, obviously, but maybe tomorrow night, and say, what can we all agree on? What implements can we put into place that we all can cohesively agree that this is going to work for all of us for here and the future?
Why don't we start with when is the next meeting?
Right.
Let's start there.
Yeah, that's a good start.
When would you guys like to have the next meeting that we can attend, and we can try to all be civil and work this stuff out, and take a step at a time? Now we have an action on Saturday.
Normally vote nights on Friday, right? At Show Chapel still.
If this stands by the end of this meeting,
yes.
there won't be another meeting
What
for me.
Eric, have you read
If
what
they're
Eric
still
said
in power
said
by the
that
end of
we
this
don't
meeting,
have
there
voting
won't be
power,
another
we don't
meeting
have
for
say
me.
power?
Lance the Boyle that you're talking about. If you've known him for years, it must have been a lonely road.
I'm
Okay.
saying, but you have read this, right?
I have read it, we have discussed it, and I said that it needs to come up for discussion in the group, and I thought that's what this was this evening, was we were going to discuss this. We never got to that point.
But the thing is, like, by him, he essentially tried to service these papers and say we don't have a vote in anything tonight.
Lesser influence
We can't
for
impose
us
anything
because
tonight.
he wants to
So
give
he tried
lesser
to take
influence to
that
the
away
people.
from
That's not my doing. That's your doing. That's your
Really?
actions, your actions that are
have say in who would be
destructive
served
to
with this
Occupy.
paper tonight?
By what you've done.
You are not Occupy. My actions have been calling you out.
Hey guys.
You are not Occupy.
No.
Guys,
So he
guys,
on his
guys,
own decided
guys.
that I'm going to take
You,
their
I'm
power away
gonna,
from
I'm gonna,
everybody.
can
And
I
I have
be,
no power
can
here
I,
other
can
than
I
the
do this?
individual. As
Can I do
you,
this? I'm gonna
as
do
the-
it. I'm gonna do it.
Just break
I
through
think-
it.
All right. There has been statements that have been accusatory, that have been, presuming lots and lots of things from everyone. Nobody is a saint here. Nobody is.
I have you know I walk on water.
Okay, so this back and forth blame game.
Okay, well then can we just like vote him out and then go home and be done with this because it's cold.
Someone's talking. Someone has the floor.
Well, that's fine. I'm trying to rebuild Occupy. I have better shit to do. So can we vote him out, or we just gonna stand here and argue? That's why we all came,
Well,
right?
like
No,
to say
not
something.
all of us came here for that. We were some of us came here to try to rebuild.
I wanna rebuild without him.
My suggestion is let's disband this evening, and those who want to come on Friday, if Friday is the day, and we'll talk about the action on Saturday. If you still are in the intense emotions that are exhibited now, then we can take it up then. But I think that we're really not in a good place to make a vote right now. That's my suggestion.
I believe that's
I have a thought. More and more, I've been looking at this process of voting ever since we've been doing Occupy, and more it seems to me just another tool of control that oppresses those in the minority viewpoint.
I've never liked it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's Robert's Rule of Order thing. I like it.
Colorado, votes to
Understanding that.
not allow legal marijuana or something, and then suddenly people who are not me are controlling the outcome and choices of my life.
Put that
So
down.
maybe,
Do something
I know
with
we've
it. Go
talked
put it
about
with the other
consensus versus voting before, but this whole notion of, well, if you can scrape together 4 people and put a piece of paper in front of them
Like,
and
seriously, we need to
get a
vote.
vote passed, I mean, maybe we have to move past that to some newer model.
I suggest that whatever happens, that it waits until rational thought can be.
I think we
brought
do
up
need
again.
to, cooling off. Period.
Because right now I don't see that happening.
A resolution happening.
I see a gutting of individuals, and I
My
don't
bad.
want to
All right.
do that.
If that's the case, then this paper is just simply that, a piece of paper, and it does mean nothing.
If that's what you feel, then fine, great.
Because if we
And
try to
can-
come, but if I'm saying if the same people show up on Friday and we say, hey, we want to put a proposal in place, and say it's what you just said, we want to put this proposal, according to Eric, and I don't know if you agree with this as well, right? Okay, and Patrick so far at least, they will refuse to accept anything that we've proposed. And
Marley.
they will refuse to count any of our votes.
Right.
Therefore, we won't be able to vote on it. We wouldn't be able to have say in a consensus, and we wouldn't be able to propose any kind of resolution whatsoever anyways.
And that's why I say we vote now.
That's what we're trying to say is, so we can't do that until this is spoke of, like, okay, whether or not this holds any weight, because
No,
if
it
they
doesn't,
claim it
because
holds
it wasn't
weight,
voted on by a
and
group.
right now none of us have the power that they have, then no matter what we say there, vote on there, propose there,
I can't hold
according
you, I can't
to
hold you, I
them,
can't
because
hold
they
you,
are
get
the
down,
ones
I
that
can't
have
hold you.
say over
You're too heavy,
over
I
the
wish.
.org site and the Facebook page. we would
hopefully,
end up in the
hopefully
same
what we're
spot.
talking about is Occupy, and we're not talking about internet Occupy. I mean, sitting at home and doing nothing. Hopefully we're talking about Occupy.
Who's sitting at home and doing nothing?
Well, I mean, when you're talking about internet things. I mean, when you're talking about websites and Facebook.
No, what I was saying was
so-
you guys are the admins on the page currently, and you guys you claim that then therefore, and you also claim that you're
Because
currently
you
some of the
deleted it.
activists.
Because you deleted
But what
it.
I'm
Because
saying,
you purged
what,
everybody
okay,
else.
forget about me, okay? For
No,
God's
no,
sake,
no, but-
say
no,
it
that's
back.
why-
Can I
that's
say
why
it
we're-
already? What
that's
I'm
why we're
saying
not
is
doing
that-
it.
I'm trying to speak with
Can I just say something?
Okay,
I have a
We don't
question.
need to. Can I just say we don't need to aggressively advance?
Yeah,
towards
yeah.
anything.
Well, okay, I'm not gonna be
We don't need
aggressive.
to.
I'm not
Let's
being
just give each
aggressive.
other our space.
It's just,
circle
it has
going.
to do with it.
Me and Patty was actually, I think, being able to talk about this out, like, and say, okay, this sounds like, but what I'm saying, so I think that what Patty said is actually a good idea. We need to go when we are maybe all less.
So then let's
We've all
not
had a
take
break
that.
to talk about or whatever, you know, and we can sit down and
Can I just-
calmly talk about it. But what I'm asking is, if we show up, will we even have a vote on that night? Will we even have a right to propose anything on that night?
Are you
Or if
saying
we
there's
try to
someone
do
who can
so,
take your vote away?
Him!
he's claimed. They're claiming.
You don't
That's
They're
what their power
claiming
is.
That power.
they're claiming that OCS, as OCS, we don't have that right.
Don't
any
relinquish your
longer.
vote, and your vote will always be yours. Right?
So if we all sit there and vote on it, and they say, well, we're not implementing it because we're the only OCS, we're the only active OCS members at this time.
You want to get up?
We've wasted
Okay, can I
time.
say something,
No one
please?
can kick
I've been
anyone
waiting
You
to say
understand what I'm
it.
saying?
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
Under the blanket.
Say what you gotta say.
MC.
Patty,
Yes, sir.
I was here when this movement was halved by one action of hijacking the Facebook page, and I was told,
Oh, she's fake.
forget about it. We need to get people to use the website more. You know, I was brushed off when I wanted to find out what halved the movement because I wanted to get those people back. And then the movement was halved again. And that was the thing with the veterans.
Okay.
I brought all these people here to fix the problem. That's why they're here. That's what they gathered around.
But
Without
do you
that
feel-
problem being
do you-
fixed, without that boil being lanced, these people will be gone. And you'll be
you
back
feel
to a
this is the
handful of
right-
people.
Do you feel that this is the right venue with everyone in a high emotional state
Yes.
and not
Yeah.
thinking rational
Yeah.
thoughts?
I like what you're
Because
saying, Patty.
you know, because emotions will cause you to do some strange things.
But what if we show up on
shelving the
Friday
issue.
again and we're told the same thing? It's gonna
Then-
end in the exact
then-
same
That's
way.
why I just say, can we vote
That's
to
why I'm
vote
asking
now?
about this.
Does that
It'll-
make
you know,
sense?
Everybody's emotions will go right back.
Then where are you any worse? It won't be any worse than it is right now.
So you're telling us that we can all come on Friday, but we're not going to have a vote or say
No,
we're
I'm not
proposing
saying
it.
that. I'm saying if you come in and you feel the same way, then we won't have lost anything
Yeah,
of
dude, that's
time.
why I quit going too.
And,
is
so
because
you
of
know,
just
it either
respect.
needs to work
And
now,
then it'll then pretty much it'll be
Will we
over.
address this before disbanding tonight, and then any further action we would do on Friday, like you said, you know?
Then address.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
that's-
trying to ask. Patrick,
Okay.
you've heard pretty much.
Can I just say something?
Can you respond to this?
I
Like,
thought I was
ask
to say
that?
something for like the
Maybe.
past
Hold on,
10
can
minutes.
Patrick,
I would like to say first off, the votes that you guys have been trying to implement to kick somebody out of Occupy, I don't think that can be an option. We've already discussed this at some of the very first GAs that we had, is that anybody can be a part of Occupy, correct? Okay, the next deal that he's talked about voting is to put in everybody back as admins. We already know that won't work because when that happened last time, somebody deleted a bunch of admins and then ended up deleting the Facebook page. And then also we had these two people that took over an Occupy Facebook page.
When everybody was admin.
Okay, I think I was gonna say
So it's
something.
but how do we come to terms of, okay, who do we decide? Because there's obviously a lot of people that don't trust, like Eric being, or Tony. I don't know a lot of people that have a problem with you necessarily being an admin, other than the fact that you would add them back. But so it's like
No,
then
and
you
I
come
would
to a
not add
problem.
anybody back.
Can I just say what I
But I'm
need to
saying
say?
because that ends in
Round
a
and
problem
around
of,
we
okay,
go.
this group wants these people, this group wants these
Check.
people,
I've
and
been
this group,
trying to say
you know,
that.
like neither one of them would trust each other's
You getting it now?
appoint the people they appoint.
Okay.
I've just been trying to like.
Oh, I know.
So
I
where's
know.
that?
And it's where do we go
So
from there?
who runs the community page then? Because obviously she got censored and Jeremy got censored.
For putting repeated stuff on there that was even personal attacks, doing personal stuff against me, saying that I spit in my wife's face. That was, no, not you, but Jeremy did.
I don't recall hearing
Oh, he did. He said that it's basically like spitting in my wife's face.
Because it was because your wife served in the Air Force and doesn't hear being anti-military.
Yes, and those are
But here's
personal
another
attacks.
thing. Okay, can I just make a proposal then? Can I just make a proposal? Can we impeach him as admin on the OCS page and hand that over to somebody else?
I don't see a problem.
how about
You second
I
that?
don't know if anyone's ever had a problem with me doing anything wrong.
So who wants to take his spot then? I mean, if we vote on this, who wants to take his spot as admin?
I mean,
You're impartial as hell. Why don't you do it?
But I do believe there's been issues though where you've volunteered for things and never carried out them at all.
Still, she's the least
Never.
partial of anybody here.
I mean, I'm on the internet all day long. I look at the Facebook I get a notification. As soon as my notification comes up, I read it. Just
I'll
like
also
that.
vouch for her in the fact that she's been a neutral party in any instance that I've seen her around. So.
I